Rain and strong wind and snow hitting Northern California. This is a live look over downtown Sacramento. We've been tracking power outages and trees toppling onto roads in the capital city. We have team coverage tonight, but first we want to start with meteorologist Brendan Minchef tracking the movement of this storm. Hey, Brendan.
Hi, Alicia. It is just off the coast right now near San Francisco, and that is pushing a lot of wind into our area. Take a look at the max wind gusts that we've seen so far today. Point Reyes, almost 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts. McClellan 66, Placerville 64, Mather 63, Sacramento International 63, Sacramento Executive 60, Stockton 60-mile-per-hour gusts, Travis 59, Modesto 55, Davis 47. Some of us saw rain this morning. Not all of us did, but we have all seen the wind this afternoon and continuing into the evening. Right now, these are sustained winds across the valley. Look at this, sustained winds of 40 miles per hour in Stockton right now, sustained at 30 miles per hour in Sacramento. You see all the purple coloring. It is a blustery evening, to say the very least. Here are some of those gusts that we're seeing right now. Placerville, Auburn, 51-mile-per-hour gusts being observed there. Zooming in a little bit. Mather 56-mile-per-hour gusts. This is right now. McClellan 56, International Airport 47, Sacramento Executive 44, and then out Vacaville, Travis Air Force Base, also looking at about 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. These are actually the lowest numbers that we've seen over the last couple of hours. Wind gusts down in Stockton, 49 miles per hour right now, 46 in Livermore, still about 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts out at the San Francisco International Airport. So these winds are going to remain with us for at least the next roughly 2 to 3 hours. As we look at the model data, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, we still see wind gusts of about 50 miles per hour. There's going to be little change in the strength of the winds over the next hour. From 7 to 8, maybe a little bit of tapering just by maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour. But then between 8 and 9, then we see wind gusts closer to 40 instead of 50 miles per hour. And they'll continue to taper as we go through the overnight hours. But even tomorrow morning as you're off to work, still looking at a gusty morning commute. We haven't even talked about the rain and the snow, but we will talk about that a little later in the show, Alicia.
A lot going on. We'll check back in with you soon. Thank you, Brendan. And our team coverage continues now with our Jeannie Nguyen. She's live in Carmichael right now where a tree came down onto a home, crushing a car underneath. Jeannie, what's it looking like out there now?
Yeah, Alicia, as you said, I am in a Carmichael neighborhood and the wind is just relentless here. And I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a closer look at what's going on behind me here. It is darker now, so it's going to be a little difficult to see, but there's a large tree right here with its roots exposed that's fallen over onto this house and also trapped a tree under. And I don't know if you can see a car under that tree right now from based on where we're standing, but there is a car under there. You know, luckily earlier today I did ask some fire officials on scene if anybody was hurt, and they told me no, so that is a good sign. You know, we also spoke with a gentleman who lives just right across the street from here. He told me he saw this all happen, and take a listen at his close call.
And I was standing between that large limb and that tree when it came down. And the car went off and the hole in the house, and I got out of there real quick.
As you heard, it was a very close call for that gentleman. Luckily, nobody was hurt again. And if you can take a look right in front of this house where the tree is, there is a Sac Suburban vehicle here. That's because, you know, per Ron's, what Ron told me earlier, he came outside, was standing between these two trees because he saw there had been a water leak. He believed that because of that water leak, the roots had softened, causing this tree to topple over. That being said, now Sac Suburban is here addressing the situation because earlier down the street a little bit, this street was just flooded and nobody could get in or out. It looked honestly like a little lake here on this street right here, but it looks like Sac Suburban is out here monitoring the issue and continuing to monitor the issue. And as you can see too, it's still very dark out here. That means a lot of the residents here in this neighborhood haven't had power for a few hours now. And, you know, PG&E and SMUD, of course, are continuing to work on this situation. Alicia, back to you.
Wow, Jeannie, we can really hear how strong those winds are. Glad to hear that no one was hurt. Thank you for your coverage, Jeannie. Meanwhile, more than 800,000 customers are without power across the state. Sacramento County, at last check, has more than 170,000 customers without power. There is no estimated time to get that power back up, but we'll keep you updated. And these high winds are causing some major impacts. More than 20 flights for arrivals and departures canceled at Sacramento International Airport. Trees falling and crushing cars, as you've just seen, and some even blocking roads. That's where we find our Guard Paul Sunga. He's in Sacramento near Howe and Fair Oaks, where a downed tree was actually blocking off a part of the road. How's it going out there, Guard Paul?
Yeah, Alicia, as you were just talking, the wind gusts really picking up. That's sort of what we've been dealing with. Maybe it's a minute with very light winds, and then that wind gust just picks up very rapidly. So since the last time we spoke to you, we were in the downtown area. Now we're closer to this neighborhood called here in the area of Mills Road and Huntington Road, just right next to Howe and Fair Oaks. So it may be difficult to see because it is dark, but this is a very large tree. You can take a look at the other trees. It's similar to that size. It came crashing down from what a neighbor told me, kind of around the 1 o'clock area. So the good news is it did not hit any homes. So we kind of fell in between the homes, but on the bottom, it may be difficult to see. It did take out some power lines. But again, there's just another example of what crews are experiencing here. And we're told by a neighbor here, a SMUD crew has not been able to come out here to help repair these power lines because there's just been a lot of phone calls, and you can just hear how strong the wind is. So there's just a lot of calls that the SMUD has to respond to. So this is just another situation, just the damage to the fence. Luckily, no damage to the homes, but this is a very large tree. Obviously, you can't take a look at just how big this area is because of just the darkness. But as I mentioned, we were in that downtown area just about an hour ago. A tree branch fell in that area. You can take a look at the video there. At least 3 vehicles were damaged. A few of them had a window damage, a front hood damage, but one of them mostly just a lot of damage there. So this is just another example of what is happening here. Crews are trying their best to clear those areas, but this road is clear. We've had a lot of cars coming here trying to get past, but they've had to make a U-turn. So in this area, we're told at least about 1 or 2 homes are without power, but crews are just trying their best. But the wind, as you've been hearing during my live hit here, has not stopped. And so that is the hope that it can let up. But right now it's just causing a lot of damage. And this is just one of few that we've been seeing across the region. Alicia.
Yeah, crews are going to have a lot of work cut out for them tonight and then also going into tomorrow. Thanks for tracking for this, Guards Paul. We'll check back in with you soon. And remember, it's going to be an active weather weekend, so be sure to download the free ABC 10 app to stay informed about the wind, rain, and snow. And don't forget to turn on your notifications.